All right, guys, today we are talking about Ascended Heroes. We're going to talk about the sealed product and see to what extent we are actually booming because Ascended Heroes is booming. We're also going to look at the singles, which is also booming. All right, so let's just jump right into it. The Ascended Heroes Elite Trainer Box case is up to almost $1,600, and you're getting a pretty good premium, $250 for a sealed case premium. That's pretty solid. We're going to take a closer look at the Elite Trainer Box. As we can see, it released right around $100, and we're all the way back up to 136. Recent sales are right at 135 to 140. So you're up 40% in what? When did this actually release? I want to say the end of February or the end of January, something around there. It actually released. So yeah, in like 2 months, you're up 40%. Absolutely insane. All right, so let's take a look at the Ascended. All right, so let's take a look at the Ascended Heroes Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, and this is booming as well. This was something around $200 on release. I mean, 230 seems expensive. I want to say it was like 200, and we're all the way up to 416. So that's 100% essentially. And your recent sales are right around that 220 to 235 range. So yeah, sealed is absolutely booming. Let's take a look at the singles. Gengar has boomed almost $1,200. Oh, I didn't filter this to near mints. Whoops. All right, so let's take a look at the Gengar first up. And boy, is this card booming as well. We hit a low of $830 and we're all the way up to 1,200. Let's see what our recent sales are. 1,300. There's one at 1,400 and a PSA 9 at 1,500. So you're pretty much anywhere between 13 and 1,500 for a near mint copy. Absolutely insane. This card is just blowing up in price. Let's see what it actually says on the month. Only 15% because it was at $1,000. All right, that makes sense. Now, what the? All right, now we're taking a look at the second most expensive card in the set. Yep, that's the Forest Pikachu. This thing has gone parabolic up over 50% on the month. Reached an all-time or on the up 50% since release, my bad. It is up 50% since release, and it reached an all-time low of like $475 up to 763 recent sales. I don't understand the 950, but near mints are selling for 800 to almost $1,000. I need to filter these better, so that's my bad. But looking at recent sales, we're seeing 800, 800s, 815, 850, 950, and 1,000. That is kind of crazy, but you only have 15 of these available. I should have checked what the Gengar has. Gengar only has 9 available. So the more expensive cards are extremely limited and they're just going to be hard to find. And that's why these prices just keep going up because there's just so much demand. People are trying to complete their master sets, people are trying to flip the cards and grade the cards because at this point, these are the best time to grade cards because you're going to find the most well centered, the best quality cards right now while the set is relatively sort of new. The Dragonite is up 70%. This is the third most expensive card with recent sales. See that 950 just throws me wild, and there's a 500 throws me wild. But you have more consistent sales right around that $700 to $750 range. I like that a little bit better. Next, we have the only Charizard in the set. This is one of the 2 gold cards, and we have 16 of these. This one is one of the few ones that are actually down from release. It started at $670 and worked its all the way down to $438, and we're actually starting to move back up into the 450s. 16 available. I forget if I mentioned that or not. And our recent sales, again, these sales are all over the place with 540, 450, 480, 525. Like, we're all over the place. But this set is just so deep, it's insane. The Mewtwo. A lot of people say this Mewtwo is better than the Destin Rivals Mewtwo. I'd have to see both side to side, but it definitely has a case for it. And look at this graph just straight up. And there's like consistent items selling while it's still up. It hit a low of 275 roughly, and we're all the way up to 350. So a $75 move with 11 available on the market. That's why you're seeing it boom like crazy, because we've been having 9 and 11 buyouts with each one of those bars on the bar graph. So you're just wiping the market out and continually moving up. And your recent sales are actually into the 400s, so it's even higher than that. That's insane. Next, we have the pink Pikachu, which a lot of people, myself included, also enjoy. I need to set this to near mint. That is my bad, guys. And as we look at near mint, we actually crashed a little bit on this one, down to 325 roughly, and we're up to 350, 15 available on the market. And our recent sales are actually a lot higher than the 350. Go figure, as we're seeing this common trend here. All of these cards are still moving up, with our most recent sales more like 385. Next, we have the Gold Dragonite. And again, I need to filter this to near mint. That is my bad. We have 21 available. The graph is shot. This is actually crashing down, and our recent sales are like 290. Looks like that's 290 to 300 is pretty believable. But this card started off, where did this card start off at? 500, and we're all the way down to the 290s. I mean, gold cards right now are just not the move. Lily's Clefairy. Really, I think this is a lot better than the Clefairy in Journey Together, which kind of sucks because I was getting ready to buy that Clefairy, and now I question whether I want it or not. But this card is also taking a dump from right around 250 all the way down to the 170 range, and there's quite a bit more of these available, with 37 available on the market. Recent sales are between that 185 and 200 range. I definitely think there's more room for this card to fall. It's not one of the top chases, and there's more of it on TCG players, so it's going to be more likely this card falls than goes up. Next, we're also going to take a look at the top Mega Attack Rare, and of course, that is everybody's favorite Gengar. And as we can see here, it did its little pop and flop. It got down to $50, and then it kind of started coming back up into the 70s, and then boy, just like everything else, it is taking off up to $91. Now there is quite a bit of these on the market, with 62 available. These are a lot easier to hit than the SIRs, and your recent sales are in that $90 to $100 range. So definitely cool to see. Relatively easier card to hit is still $100, and that is definitely going to fall with bundles coming out and whatnot. We're also going to look at the top illustration rare. Once again, I failed to put this on near mint, and that is your Psyduck. This is the most expensive illustration rare, and wow, is that crazy that it's $80 essentially? And this one's almost like a sine wave on this. We came out at $95, came all the way down to 60, came all the way back up to 80, came all the way back down to 70, and we're working our way back up. There's 81 of these available, and again, this is definitely a lot easier to hit than your SIRs. And I also believe it's a lot easier to hit than your Mega Attack rares. As we look, the recent sales are pretty steady right at $80. So that's kind of good to see. I'd expect this one to probably get cut in half as more product comes out over the year. But, with this market, anything's possible. Could it pump up to 100, 120? Could it go down to 40? Really, anything's possible with this market. And it really just depends on reprints and how many get pulled and who's selling and who's grading and if there's a grading play involved, etc. So that's all I got for you guys. If you enjoyed our deep dive into Ascended Heroes, smash that subscribe button, smash the like button, and head on over to my website. Well, you can just click the links in the description of the video. We have our website link, we have our email list link, we have our Discord group. Join there. We're up to 70, like 4 members or something like that. And follow us on Instagram and our other social media pages. I'd love to see you guys interact with me, interact with the community. Um, Buy an order on our website, and if you're lucky, you will be featured in our shorts where I package videos. And that's all I got for you guys. Appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys on the next video.